Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. Now we are building in San Myshuno today, specifically in 18 Culpepper House. We are turning this apartment block into a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment for a couple that have just recently started living together. And this is their first time in the city as well. So I thought it was just a really nice, fun, sort of quick video idea, a little midweek treat, as it were. I don't typically upload on a Wednesday, but I was just feeling really inspired to do an apartment video. It seems like it's been a while since I've done one on the channel. I think at this point, at the point of me actually filming this voiceover and video, it's been well over a month since I did my last apartment, so I was like, yeah, why not just whip this up? Now, we do have a new video heading to the channel this weekend as well, playing a game that I've been wanting to play for years, and I'm just sort of getting myself used to it, as it were, with the controls and everything else. So that video is going to be heading your way this weekend, but in the meantime I just thought it'd be a nice little idea to whip up this apartment for you. Now we are building in autumn, of course, because it is currently autumn where I live. Autumn is my favorite time of year. I think it's just like, is it about a week, just over a week until Halloween? I can't actually believe how quickly it's come around this year. I don't know if anyone else thinks that, but I also feel like I say this every year as well, where I sit here and I say, oh, it feels like the year's just flying by and I'm not really getting the chance to enjoy it. So I'm making a point this year to actually just try and enjoy every single day and just the lead up to Halloween, because once Halloween's over, it's done, it's over. And then luckily we have Christmas, but then after that, it's like, oh no, there's literally nothing to look forward to anymore. Anyway, so yes, this apartment idea is for a couple who have just moved to the city. This is their first time living together, and you will notice in this particular build there's a lot of boxes everywhere. There's some furniture that's perhaps not quite in the right place and things like that. I think the couple have maybe been in the apartment for not too long of a time, basically, is what I was thinking, and the storyline that I actually made up for these two Sims. But I also imagine that they perhaps have a dog as well, like a smaller dog. They could have a cat, but you'll just need to add obviously a scratching tree and then also a litter box to probably the bathroom is where I would imagine you would add that. But I did imagine they would have a pet of some description. So yeah, with this apartment, I wanted it to have a very cozy, mismatched feel without being too over the top with colours, because originally I sort of headed into this apartment with the idea of I was going to create like quite a colourful, quite in your face sort of apartment, but I feel like I do that quite a lot, and it's not very often that I work with more muted earthy tones, which is what I would consider this apartment has. And then it does have the odd pop of colour. Just every now and again you'll see an odd pop of colour. So for example, this armchair, which is from the Sims 4 Adventure Awaits pack, love that armchair, and I really wanted to use it in this particular apartment just because I wanted it to have a very loose autumnal / spooky theme. My idea was that this couple are really into celebrating the spooky season, and so whilst they've still got stuff in boxes, whilst they are still in the process of moving into this apartment, I think they've got all the stuff in here, they just haven't quite managed to unbox everything as of yet. You know, obviously life gets in the way and it takes a long time to move and to get yourself situated, but they wanted to put up some really quick Halloween decorations. So I've made many a house many an apartment where I've gone really over the top with the spooky / Halloween decorations, whereas with this apartment I was thinking the couple love Halloween, and I think they're sort of saying, well, we're in the process of currently moving in, so let's just hang up a few decorations for now, but then next year when it comes around, we'll be perfectly situated in this apartment, we'll have been here for a while, and we'll go to town on the spooky decorations. So you'll see just like the odd homage to autumn in this apartment, which I think works quite well actually. But we do start working on the living room. Obviously, since I've had a little bit of a ramble, we're well and truly on our way to getting the living room sorted, but I really enjoy how this looks. I love the clutter, I love the colour scheme that we went for, I love the mismatched homey feel as well. It it felt really nice to just sit and decorate an apartment. Like I said, it feels like it's been a while, so it just felt really nice. I don't know. And 18 Culpepper House is possibly one of my favorite apartment units to actually decorate in. I just think it's a really good sized space without making you feel too overwhelmed, because there are plenty of apartments in San Myshuno that are huge, and I've never actually tried to tackle those because I do struggle with bigger spaces, especially when it comes to apartments. Like when I build a house, at least I'm in control of the size and the floor plan, kind of, you know. And sometimes I do struggle with larger spaces. I do feel much more comfortable decorating the smaller, more confined spaces, but this apartment still does have a really nice kind of feel to it in terms of the size. You don't feel too cramped, but I do think you do get that sense of apartment living, as it were. So yeah, you'll see here I do start pulling out some random items and boxes, so like these wellies, for example. Obviously they do not belong in the living room. The cleaning little caddy from the kitchen clutter kit, I think that's from. Obviously that's not going to stay in the living room. So you'll notice that I was trying to tell a story of they're still unpacking, and while they're unpacking some of these boxes, obviously they've pulled out the wellies from one of the boxes and they're still in the living room. Like they're meant to go in the hallway or perhaps in the wardrobe, you know, like if you don't want them out. And so I just thought it was a really nice storyline, and it also meant as well that I could, what's the word I'm looking for here? Or the phrase that I'm looking for here. I was a little bit more relaxed with sort of putting the items together in this apartment as well. So one of the rooms that's quite interesting to me is, so I did say it was 2 bedrooms, but I actually ended up making obviously the main bedroom where the Sims sleep, and then the second bedroom I did turn into an office space for one of the Sims, because I do think they're either a part-time content creator or they are a full-time content creator. And with that particular room, it's giving very much an unboxing sort of vibe. If you're not familiar with the game Unboxing, I can highly recommend it. Just if you're wanting to just switch off and do something super relaxing on your Switch. I've spent many hours in Unboxing, and it kind of gave me that vibe when I was decorating that room in particular, because all of the furniture is not quite in place, which means you as the player, you can download this apartment with these Sims and you can start putting all of the furniture back together. Obviously you can switch things out as well, but I just thought it was a really nice added gameplay element to it as well. So yeah, really happy with this. But the living room's done. You will notice that there is a little dining room table in the living room as well, which I thought was kind of a nice idea, also because the living room ended up being quite a bit bigger than I had initially anticipated. So I was like, okay, so what should we put in that little corner there? And I thought, oh, a cute dining room table would work really well. So I do have a dining table in there. And then I use this little, I don't know what you would call it, like a kitchen caddy, I guess, or like a faux island from the kitchen clutter kit. And I do use that in the middle of this kitchen here. Now, if you wanted to add more counter space, you could definitely add more counters just underneath the windows there. But I kind of liked having the counters on either side, which is something that I don't typically do in my Sims builds. But with this apartment, I just thought that worked really well. So you could definitely add a dining room table in here if you wanted to. I was just trying something new. I think this apartment was all about me trying new things or trying to try new things. There's obviously certain things that I do in a build like every time, but with this one I wanted to just try a couple of new things with it. So you'll see again here we've got like the little candy jar just on the little by the door. Don't know why it took me so long to figure that one out, but yeah, we put this little pumpkin mat here as well. So like I was saying, very loose, kind of subtle hints towards the autumnal / spooky season, which I kind of liked. I did, because I've got a video in mind that I would like to release either on Halloween or around Halloween, and I say I do it every year. That's not true at all. But I do like a Halloween family house. So like the house is just decorated head to toe in Halloween decorations. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the movie Hubie Halloween. It has quite quickly become one of my favourite or go-to movies to watch around the spooky season, but it's fantastic. And it's shot in Salem around, obviously, Halloween, because it's called Hubie Halloween. And the houses there are just decorated so beautifully for Halloween. And that was the kickstart for me a couple of years ago. I did a Happy Halloween house on the channel and I had so much fun and you all loved it so much. So I'd love to do something like that again on the channel, but release it. My aim is to release a video on Halloween this year. That is my aim. Now, luckily I do have next week booked off work for like just to have some time off, which is needed because I have started my new job and it can feel extremely overwhelming, especially because I think I've been in the job for 5 or 6 weeks at this point, and it just feels like everything's passing by so quickly, and I'm not that I'm not retaining information, but I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So this time off is definitely needed, and it also means that I can celebrate Halloween, and then obviously the day after it's my birthday as well. So it just means that I can celebrate those 2 days without the worry of work. But yeah, that's the plan this year, is to release a video. I was going to say I'm going to release a film on Halloween. No, release a video on Halloween. But anyway, that's the kitchen done as well. And then we do move on to the one and only bathroom. I did add a shower bath combination in here so that your Sims can do everything that they need to in here. It's a very unusual, like, sort of sized and shaped bathroom. At least in my opinion, because I feel like before you get in there, you think you've got more room than you actually have. And then when you start decorating it, you're like, oh, this is not as big as I thought it was, unfortunately. But just talking about the bathroom, it's just reminded me, I have used this floor plan before in this particular apartment unit. It's a floor plan that I think works very well here. I have managed to squeeze in, I believe, 3 bedrooms and a bathroom in this particular apartment. Not entirely sure how I managed to do that. I'd have to sort of go back and have a look. I can't even remember at this point which video or which apartment it was when I managed to do that, but I'm looking at this thinking, don't get me wrong, like, the main bedroom's quite big. Obviously, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I think all of the rooms are really quite big, so there's definitely room to squeeze in another bedroom, but I'm just sat here looking at it thinking, how? Even though I know it is possible because I have done it. But anyway, the main bedroom, we're going for the same theme here. The Sims are still moving in. They're still doing some home DIY. There's still stuff in boxes. There's paint cans on the floor on a little pile of newspaper because I think they're wanting to just either touch up some of the walls or perhaps they're wanting to change the wall colour entirely. I think the Sims that have moved in here, they're not renting. I do think they bought this apartment unit, so obviously they're able to decorate it however they wish. So that was my thought process with that. I just thought, again, it just added another layer to that story, and I thought it was quite nice. But you will see there's quite a few storage boxes throughout the apartment as well, so maybe you could actually play out, okay, well, you know, there's some items in storage here, let's pull them out, let's put them where we want to. I just think it offers just a little nice sort of gameplay. A little nice gameplay. That doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, this apartment offers a nice opportunity for some gameplay, is what I was trying to say. But with the bedroom, I didn't want to go too over the top with any of the decorations because I really did want to leave that up to you as the player to decide how you wanted to sort of lay out the decorations in there. And then the last room that we work on is the office space that I was referring to just a few moments ago. And this is the room that's probably the most chaotic. This is probably the room that the Sims just have not got round to sorting yet. I think, like I said, one of the Sims, they're either part-time content creating or they're doing it full-time. And this is their space to do that. When they were apartment hunting, you know, they were saying, well, we need to have 2 bedrooms. We really do, because I cannot have my sort of content creation room set up in the living room or wherever. I need to have a dedicated space. So I think the other Sim is extremely supportive of this career path that their partner has, and I just thought it was like the sweetest thing ever. So you are absolutely free to come in here and lay out the items however you like. I just loosely put them together. Obviously there's you can definitely add more stuff in here as well. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity for some gameplay and storytelling there. And I also knew before I started this room that I wanted to use this fried egg rug, because I do not get to use that as often as I would want to. It's so cute. And I actually had a look for my own office for a fried egg rug, and I just could not find one that was big enough. I was like, if I'm going to do it, it's going to be huge. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, actually. I seem to have run out of time a little bit faster than I would have liked there. But anyway, I digress. So if you would like to download this apartment, it is available right now under my Origin ID, which is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are also linked down in the description box just below. You can get them from SimFileShare. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me here today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. You all take care, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye!